stand up and say your name, please, and where you're from.
Will you use your position on the GLA and with your sort of role in the GLA, will you use that to promote the London living wage? Sorry, Ben Samuel from Hendon.
Okay, thank you, Ben. We'll take Ben's question, and again, if we can really refocus the questions on, as well as general issues about London, also the issues of the Jewish constituents of London as we are the London Jewish Parliament. Okay, thank you. Would anybody like to reply?
Barnet Council very recently adopted the London living wage. We very much believe in that, and I think we should have fair pay. If we keep our key workers, we need to pay them properly. And the other thing we need to do as well on this topic is local authority rent increases. And since 2011-12, Barnet has only increased it by £3 per week. And unfortunately in Camden it's gone up by £12 per week, and all the neighbouring boroughs as well. So it's not just about the living wage, it's also about the rents as well. So we need to make sure that we control both.
Well, you barely employ anyone.
Please, don't shout out. Happy to take remarks.
Outsourced it all, and their salaries have gone down.
Yeah.
But is it good for the Jews?
Okay. Tack on.
Yes, please.
It's the comment at the end of every question, right? Okay. Zack, go
yes, I would absolutely support it. I think if people work hard, they deserve to be paid for it. I think it's important to point out that it's not actually something the Assembly can do. I heard your question was, would you lobby for it? So the Assembly has financial muscle. It has what we call soft power. So it has a microphone in front of it. It has journalists. So I'd certainly push for that on the Assembly. The Assembly's role is actually just to hold the Mayor accountable. So there's the Mayor and 25 Assembly members, and they hold the Mayor accountable for their budget and several devolved issues. The living wage isn't a devolved issue, but it is something that I would absolutely push for. I think also, to connect earlier what I was saying with renting as well, this is a Jewish issue, because actually, if you're being moved around home all the time, you're not necessarily near the local synagogue. So, and this is about a community. And of course, with that community, the community deserves to be paid for their money. So, yes, I would absolutely support a living wage.
Thank you.
Yes, and I have been, and the Labour Party has been. We've been continually exposing Boris Johnson's failures on the London living wage. He's made various pledges that he would try and expand it, but in practice, the proportion of people on the London living wage has gone down compared to before. As far as Camden is concerned, Camden does pay the London living wage. It's also implementing Unison's ethical care charter, which I think is very important for care workers, so that it can't be avoided by this ridiculous way of people not being paid for travelling time and so forth. And Camden's gone even further than that, because they publish their pay gap data, they have a minimum earnings guarantee, and they also make sure that their pay ratio between the least well-paid staff and the highest paid staff is no more than 1 in 10. So they've done quite a lot as well, I think, at the Labour Party in Camden in trying to deal with the question of pay fairness.
At first sight, the London living wage seems a very good idea, but it's actually very little more than was being paid before, and most responsible employers in London will probably be paying more than the London living wage. What it does do, however, is it sends out a message to people overseas who, in their own country, might be only earning a 10th or even a 20th of the London living wage, and it will only act as a magnet to bring more people here. So, there may be unforeseen consequences. Whilst it may sound very good, I think you have to look at it in the round.
Well, it's a start. It's a start, and it's not a bad start, but the elephant in the room here is house prices and the cost of accommodation, which is pumping the poorer people of London out into the periphery. And unless we address that and provide either a great deal more low-price accommodation in London, then we're going to have to deal with the problems of excessive burden on our transport infrastructure, renting and house prices going through the roof, and the breakup of communities as your own children and their children can't afford to live near you. What we need is a city that's run for its inhabitants, not for people who are selling property.
Okay. Yeah, just a quick remark.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week I was campaigning outside Belsize Park for the Stronger In campaign to remain in Europe. Incidentally, Israel's exports are 35% with the EU, so there's strong reasons for Israel as well for us to remain in Europe. I was waving the flag around as you do, the European Union flag, and my picture was put on Facebook. An old Jewish friend of mine who's a writer, Sam Boardman-Jacobs, wrote, "Good on you," and incidentally behind you is an appropriate picture. Behind me was the flats in Belsize Park, which it was accidental, I didn't know, I admit, were built in the 1930s for refugees that were fleeing Germany's hyper-nationalistic right-wing government. Sound familiar? And I think, as a Jewish man, you should really know your history, because actually we're a country that have always welcomed Jewish refugees. We've always been open-hearted, we've been inclusive, and we've always welcomed people into London, and long may that continue.
I will decline only because there's a few other pressing questions.